Yo, 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 aloha guys. What's up, guys, man? So yeah, man, you know what? So this is the weekly show. Decided to roll in and try and do this, every Wednesday to try and shake things up, shake things down, and shake down. So I just thought, as well, approaching the awards season, Golden Globes nominees have come out and everything. And I think it's time to really look back and say in 2019, what have been the best films to come out of 2019? I think we're going to be obviously be seeing more films getting released and so forth. And I think, we're going to look obviously Marriage Story, 1917 and so forth, because I think a film I really want to see that's been talked about is 1917. Because your boy Sam Mendes, man, he did Jarhead, he did American Beauty. Yo, what up, baby? It's just he did American Beauty, and obviously he did Skyfall. Really, really good director. And I think even by looking just visually at 1917 and what it looks like, I'm like, no, that looks crazy. So that's definitely one that I'm actually looking to try and see. But I do believe that when we're looking at the front row runners, because I want to really talk in detail about the main films, which is of course Joker, Irishman, Parasites, and then I'm coming with Marriage Story and obviously 1917 and everything, and maybe Once Upon a Time. Because I want to talk about Once Upon a Time. I think me and Machino, we definitely disagree with that, but I want to discuss that. But I think really, I think the clear front runner is, or should be, is Irishman, And the thing about this is that you have to look at the history. The history that Scorsese has had with the Oscars and with awards, because I'll keep it real, I do think that there was something racial happening with regards to how Scorsese was snubbed. One of the biggest snubs of all time. I mean, people will argue that how the hell did they clock Orange lose to French Connection? I think that was back in the 60s. Was that 69 or something? One of the biggest snubs of all time. This may have been the biggest snub of all time. Many people will consider Raging Bull is the best film of the 80s. I would say Back to the Future too. But I wouldn't argue if you said, because for me, Raging Bull might be Scorsese's best directed film. That's lost to some flipping movie called, I think, Ordinary People, directed by what's his face, the dude from Winter Soldier, and I've forgotten his name. It's so how he's been rejected is crazy because he didn't win directing for Goodfellas. He lost that to Kevin Costner, Dancing with Wolves. Obviously, he didn't win for Aviator and so forth. And the worst thing, I think this is the biggest insult to Scorsese, is they actually gave him the Oscar for what I consider probably his worst film, which is The Departed. I think The Departed is actually his probably his worst film. But I do think that The Irishman has been so well received. It's looked so good that, because I don't really want to talk about just about films, but when you look at Irishman specifically as a film, that's an amazing film. That is really an amazing film. I would say, because I believe I've seen all of Scorsese's films. Well, I've seen all of Scorsese's best films. I don't think I saw New York, and I think New York may be the only film I've not seen. Oh, I haven't seen New York, or I've not seen Hugo. But I would say this is his best directed film. It's between this, Raging Bull, and Taxi Driver. People will say Goodfellas, but I think those are his three best films: Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and this. I mean, Raging Bull was damn good, but I just think in Irishman, he utilized so many different directing styles, so many different directing tricks of the trade, that you just have to just take a step back and just say, no, this dude is on a whole other level. This dude is on a whole other level. And I just think that because what he uses, there are just so many different techniques he uses with regards to use of music, how to transition from one scene to another, how to track, complexity of scenes, dealing with multiple characters, just with regards to storytelling, building tension. I feel Irishman was a culmination of everything that we've seen of his film repertoire was just put upon an Irishman. So that's why I said that there is no film that would be better directed than Irishman. Impossible. So if you're not going to give it to him, you're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. Like, that's just the best directed film. And I just think in Irishman, like, the beauty about it is obviously Machine said it's because I'm not a fan of Taxi Driver, because Machine says Taxi Driver is his best. You know what? I've not seen Taxi Driver for ages because I actually bought the DVD because that is one of my favorite films. You know, because obviously this, you know, during my whole acting phase, I was like, no, what De Niro did in Taxi Driver was huge. And Taxi Driver was damn good. Taxi Driver was damn good. The direction was damn good. But bro, I just think he went to OTT in Irishman. I think he went to OTT, but I need to watch Taxi Driver to refresh my memory again. Oh man, sorry. This thing is pulling me off. Sorry. The heat is hot. But I just think that in Irishman, he just went full. So that's why I just hope that everybody has seen Irishman. I've not yet seen Lighthouse because for some reason in the UK they don't release these things. So but I definitely want to watch Lighthouse because that looks really good. That looks really good because I think he's the guy that did The Witch. The director also did The Witch as well, which I haven't seen. But I definitely want to get to that as well. But yeah, so with regards to the beauty of it is how long the film is, and it is taking us back to the days of like a Lawrence of Arabia, the days of a Godfather 2, when you really had this epic 2-3 hour films that were just flipping amazing. So I think you're going to probably put an Irishman in there. Don't worry. I mean, I'm going to get to Parasite. I'm going to get to Parasite, which I just recently watched. But let's look at Joker now. See, Joker is a tricky one because people will say if you're going to put Joker next to Irishman, you're having a laugh because Irishman is so multi-layered, it's so dense, it's technically superior, and Joker just made people see that it just feels very simple. I remember because I think it was Nix. I was talking to people about it. You know what they always say about Joker? They just said there is something about this film. There is just something about this film. And I think that the beauty of the Joker is that it's very different. It is not your conventional film. It is not your conventional Oscar-based film. You see, like, Irishman is amazing, but it's like, you know, I've seen it before. For me, Irishman is a much better version of Goodfellas. For me, Goodfellas is a poor man's Irishman. I've never really seen a film like the Joker. People say, oh no, Joker is like Kings of Comedy and Taxi Driver. I've seen Kings of Comedy and Taxi Driver. It takes elements from those films, but it ain't those films. Like Joker, I just think that with regards to how it presents a character about mental health and so forth, and just how, because you know what, there is a beauty in simplicity. It's a very simple story. It ain't complicated, but in its simplicity, it's still very powerful. In its simplicity, it is still very powerful, and I think that is where its strength is. And of course, the catalyst is, I think, a ridiculously amazing performance by Joaquin Phoenix. I think what Phoenix did in that film is absolutely insane, absolutely flipping insane. So I just think that, you know, because I think they did a stat. It was the most talked about film on Reddit. And really, when you look at online internet with regards to what people are saying, it is one of the most talked about films. And I just think that the effect that Joker has had on people generally has been huge. And I think the beauty about it is that even no, so I will talk to. I will address Coming to America in a different video. Don't worry, bro. I put it on the docket. I will do Coming to America sequel in a different video. Trust me. Or I may touch upon it here. So my thing about it is, you can't deny the film's quality. It is an extremely well directed film, and I will still argue that people will go at it that the story isn't that deep. You don't have to have an overcomplicated or a super deep story on the surface, because on the surface, it's very simple. But when you peel away, I told you there is so much to discuss about this film. There is so much to take away. There is so much to dissect. And that is what makes and gives it that extra power, because of the different ways that you can dissect and really go into the details of the film. So, Parasite. You see, I've been a huge fan of Korean films. Like, I'm gonna even do a sort of review of this other one called The Chaser, which like a friend of mine recommended to me. You see, Parasite is not a masterpiece, and I think Parasite has been slightly overhyped, because before I saw Parasite, people were saying, "Oh my gosh, Parasite is amazing! This is crazy film. This film is super. This film can do this crazy things." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Okay, relax." Now, Parasite is not a masterpiece, but it is a very, very good film. Like, when a film is making me do, when a film is making me physically react, that's when you've done something powerful. And I think, because I don't want to spoil anything about Parasite, obviously I will do my review on it. And so I just going to because I'm going to do like a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review. But 100, because see, the thing about Parasite is this, is that I think, because see, I'm sort of confused, because does Parasite now count as a foreign language film? Because if it's a foreign language film, then okay, that's separate. But if it just counts as a regular kind of film, I'm like, well, how come it's not foreign language? But with regards, if you're not putting it amongst the other films, 100%, Parasite is one of the best films of the year. Because what's and I wanna make sure that I have his name right. Bong Joon-ho. Because I've not seen all of Bong Joon-ho's films. I think he did Okja, which I've always had. I've not seen Okja, but his directing in this film is flipping amazing. His directing in the film is flipping amazing, and I think that, because what I like about Parasite is that it's similar to Joker. Parasite is similar to Joker. It's very different, and I think when you watch the film, the story is. I've never seen a story like that before. See, I've seen stories similar to Joker. I've seen stories similar to Irishman. I've seen pretty much stories similar to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've not seen anything like Parasite before. That's why I don't even want to tell you what the plot is. I don't want to tell you, because just and this is what I always recommend people to do. Whenever there's a really good film, like let's say I'm recommending Parasite to you, don't read anything about the film. Go in there cold, because for me, I knew nothing about the film. I literally knew nothing. All I saw was that, the poster with like black things up on. I was like, okay. And when I went in, I was like, because as it started, like, okay, once the story now kicks in and things start happening, like, whoa, what? So you're like, what the heck is going on? Quality, man. So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, I gave my thoughts upon this, and I think that, first of all, I don't think this film should be getting any buzz. The only quality thing from Once Upon a Time is the direction. Tarantino's directing in it is flipping amazing. It's flipping amazing. Superb. Oh no, Korean films are amazing. Look, young one, Korean films are flipping amazing. Once Upon a Time, because Tarantino he's always good at directing. So the direction of the film is good. But for me, I think Once Upon a Time was a massively huge missed opportunity. And I just don't know what Tarantino was smoking, because this was the perfect opportunity to tell a story about Hollywood. This was a perfect story to tell us the history of Hollywood films. And because I thought DiCaprio did really well. For me, I didn't think Brad Pitt was that good. Brad Pitt should be getting no buzz. DiCaprio, I thought, was good. DiCaprio was good. And when you saw what DiCaprio was doing, I was like, my God, this would have been so good if we focused on the DiCaprio character, see his rise to being one of the biggest actors in the movie industry, and see how he was struggling with a changing movie industry. Like, we're now going away from Westerns. We're now seeing the influx of the Italian American cinema, African American cinema. Because again, once Coppola and Scorsese came in the 70s, they changed everything. Even what's it called, Midnight Cowboy, that came out in '69. That was a big change. But the 70s, Lucas coming in, Spielberg coming in, Coppola coming in, Scorsese coming in. The Western was no longer sexy, because the Western was really sexy in the 60s. So if we had seen that and see how DiCaprio was struggling with a changing, kind of like a changing dynamic, that would have been huge. That would have been amazing. So in my view, I thought that was a missed opportunity there for Once Upon a Time. And watching the film, I was like, what's the story here? There isn't a story here. There isn't even really a story arc here. So taking all of those things in, it just doesn't make any sense. But I think, what about just, films, performances, and everything? Because this is sort of what I said in my Golden Globes vids. There cannot be, I don't think there's anybody that would direct a film better than Irishman. I just, when you see what Scorsese did with the Irishman, I don't think you can do one better than that. I don't think you will see anybody give a better performance than Joaquin Phoenix. I think what Joaquin Phoenix did, I just think he just took it to the nth degree. The homeboy just took it to the other nth degree. So I don't get how anybody would do anything better than him. So, and that's my thing, and I just feel that those two, and that's what I say awards don't matter. But for me, it is so clear that Scorsese and Phoenix should win all the awards, and you see us, Jordan Peele film. You see, for me, Get Out is a better film than Us, but I preferred Us to Get Out because I just liked the story and I just liked the kinds of things he was trying to do with Us. But my thing about it is that Lupita's performance in Us was pretty damn strong because she's won a few awards, and I'm not sure where any other woman would give a strong performance than that, because I think how deep she went into the role, how she was playing the two different characters, I think was huge, man. So for me, I think she should definitely be in the whole thing, man. So that's my take. Obviously, I want to actually answer a few of your. So, guys, send in questions. I've already seen a few questions in here, but send in movie questions. I want to answer your movie questions before we round off for this half hour. So, but yeah, has it been a? Oh, so if we look at Endgame, Endgame shouldn't be. See, Endgame was. See, I really enjoyed Endgame. Endgame is nowhere near one of the best films of the year. Hell no. I mean, give me a break. Endgame is not a great film. It's not. Endgame is fan service. And for me, being a huge fan of the character of Captain America and so forth, see, I was really satisfied. One of for me, I always say to myself, best cinema experiences of my life. Best cinema experience of my life. First time watching Matrix Reloaded, Cloverfield, and Endgame. Those are my three best series preferences. So Reloaded, Fellowship of the Ring. Fellowship of the Ring, Cloverfield, Reloaded, which I watched 6.5 times in the cinema, and Endgame. I mean, the crowd for Endgame was incredible. But one of the biggest effects on me in the cinema was when you saw Sauron for the first time in Fellowship. My God, I just remember that feeling because I remember when I just saw adverts of Fellowship of the Ring, I was like, yo, machine, J.J. Abrams didn't direct Cloverfield. That's what people always make the mistake. He produced it. Matt Reeves directed Cloverfield. So no, Matt Reeves directed. And see, Cloverfield on TV, Cloverfield in the cinema, I will fully defend that thing. Cloverfield in the cinema was flipping amazing. See, Cloverfield is a cinema film, similar to the Lord of the Rings films. But bro, I remember seeing Sauron for the first time in the cinema. I was like, what? Who the hell is this dude? Oh boy, scared the living crap out of me. And that's why I don't care when anyone says Aragorn is a brick. You can't be called a hero if you don't have a one-on-one fight with the villain. I'm sorry, you can't be. So Aragorn never, because for me, I always thought that Return of the King was Return of Sauron. I was like, and my thing was that once Sauron comes back, these guys are screwed. So for Aragorn, you never faced up against Sauron. So how can I call you a hero? Luke Skywalker said what's up to Vader and the Emperor. Okay, so Luke Skywalker said what's up to Vader and the flipping Emperor. So I respect that. Neo said what's up to Aiden Smith. He said what's up to about hundreds of Aiden Smiths. So for me now, man, Aragorn don't even put him in the category at all, man. So let me look at some of the questions some of you guys have put in here, man. Let's look at some of the questions. So Tarantino or Scorsese? So now, okay, I'm going to answer this in two ways. I will answer this in 2 ways. Remember, guys, send in your questions, man. I prefer Tarantino's films. Personally. I prefer Tarantino's films personally. Scorsese is a superior director. I just think, for me, one of my personal favorite films are Pulp Fiction and Kill Bill Volume 1. For me, those films are flipping amazing, you know. And I just think that's just Tarantino, just the kind of energy and the kind of swag and the coolness that Tarantino has in his films just appeal more to me. But if I just want to be objective, I just think that the directing techniques that Scorsese uses, for me, again, I just use the example of Raging Bull. The genius idea that he had of, I'm going to actually position the camera here and actually have fire beneath the camera lens and let the fumes come up. So it feels that when they're in the ring, they're like in a furnace. That's brilliant. That is genius. Even just some of the techniques that he used in flipping Taxi Driver as well, like the slow motion, the whole panning and everything was. So you see, Tarantino is good, but I think Tarantino borrows a lot from previous films. Scorsese originated a lot of his own directing, a lot of techniques he actually originated himself. So personally, Tarantino, but overall, objectively, Scorsese. Thoughts on Mark Wahlberg as an actor? Garbage. He's a garbage actor. He's not very good, man. And I think it was stupid how he got nominated for a flipping. How you nominate this dude for a flipping Oscar? It's stupid. How do you nominate this dude for an Oscar for what he did in Departed? In Departed, he was like a clown. Like in Departed, the dude was a flipping clown. So for me, Mark Wahlberg was an actor. Nah, man. Average, man. Average. Do you like horror movies? No. It began with Nightmare on Elm Street when I was really, really young. This is when I was living in Nigeria. Scared the crap out of me. And ever since Nightmare on Elm Street, I just don't do horror movies, you know. But I just felt that I had to watch Exorcist because I just felt I just had to sort of like, you know, face my demons and watch that film. And when I saw Exorcist, man, I was like, that's it, I'm done. But I always say this: REC, REC, Spanish film, bro. That film, flipping frightening. That film is flipping frightening. So I don't know how many of you guys know it. REC, REC, Spanish horror movie, flipping scary, man. Thoughts on Benedict Cumberbatch? Really good actor. Really good actor. But I think in Cumberbatch is you have to cast him for the right role. I don't think he's a chameleon in the same sense as like a Bale or a Gary Oldman, where these guys can do many different roles and really change themselves, man. But I think that he's a fine actor, and you have to just cast him in the right role. See, Cumberbatch as a hero wouldn't work. Cumberbatch as a villain, as a particular kind of mysterious kind of character, works really, really well because, you know, like there's a particular kind of aura and thing that he gives us. So I just think that, see, he'd make an amazing villain. He'd make an amazing villain. Like, you see, like he'd be a really good Bond villain. He'd be a really good Bond villain, or he'd be a really good kind of villain for like a Die Hard film, man. So, now that's an interesting one. How do you rate the Die Hard films? Okay, let's go through. I'm going to ignore Die Hard 4 and 5. Complete and utter crap. Complete and utter garbage. Bruce Willis just did this for a flipping cash grab. So Die Hard 4 and Die Hard 5, forget those films. If I was to rank them, Die Hard 1, Die Hard 3, Die Hard 2. Die Hard 1 is amazing. Do you know what I always say about Die Hard? Die Hard is not an action movie. Die Hard is an action comedy. The script for Die Hard is flipping amazing. Watch the film again and just listen to the dialogue. It's flipping amazing. Like, what's it called? I think there's that joke of Johnson and Johnson, like, you know, the white Johnson and the black Johnson and everything. Like, the comedy and the back and forth is amazing. And I think that was just Bruce Willis at his very best, because I don't know how many of you used to watch Moonlighting with Bruce Willis, and I think it was Sybil Shepherd, which was a TV series that he did, which was a comedy. And the reason why Die Hard works so well is that, first of all, John McTiernan, man, John McTiernan might arguably be one of the best action directors, because he did Die Hard, he did Die Hard 3, He did Hunt for Red October. He did Predator. He did another very underrated one, Last Action Hero. Amazing. But I think that why it works is that it's a great blend of action, but it's great situational comedy and is led by the amazing performance of Bruce Willis. So Die Hard, amazing. Die Hard 3. You know what I always say about Die Hard 3? If they had kept that Simon Says concept and stretched it for the whole film, Die Hard 3 could have been better than Die Hard 1. Like, Die Hard 3 could have been better than Die Hard 1 if they just stretched that concept of Simon Says. It would have been amazing. So, because like the first 50 minutes of Die Hard 3 is the best amongst all the series. Those first 15 minutes are amazing. Because I remember the scene when Kim and Samuel L. Jackson, they do the whole water jog thing, and they have to go into the main park and do the whole water jog thing. Because I always say to myself, that like, oh my gosh, man, if I was in that situation, because I can never really do it at the same time, but just how they were forced to do these different tasks and how they had to drive to the different places. And I remember there was a game on PlayStation. I remember there was a game I used to play when I was in Nigeria, the game on PlayStation, Die Hard with Avengers, that was there as well. I also remember the scene where he basically has to wear the massive sign, obviously the very insulting sign, and basically go into like the neighborhood and everything. No, look, Die Hard 3 was really good. Die Hard 3 was really good. And also, what's it called? Jeremy Irons. Quality performance by Jeremy Irons. So yeah, it was good. Who has been the best actor and actress this past decade? That's an interesting one. So between 2010 to 2020. 2010 to 2020. You see, I'm just taking it by the decade and the work that they've done within the decade. Ryan Gosling has been in some good. See, the names I'm thinking of are Ryan Gosling, Daniel Kaluuya. You got to look at Emma Stone. Maybe look at Olivia Colman as well. But my thing about it, even if it's a small sample size, I think if you look, I was even thinking about it right now. Daniel Kaluuya's resume is pretty strong because you have Sicario, you have Get Out, you have Black Panther, you have Queen and Slim, and now he's not doing a Black Panther film with Lakeith Stanfield as well, so that's pretty strong. But then look at Ryan Gosling, where you've got The Nice Guys, you've got Blade Runner 2049. I think with Drive was his decade, wasn't it? It must have been. Yeah, Drive was his decade as well. So that's a pretty strong repertoire that Gosling has. And I think for me, Emma Stone has always been a very strong actress because she was in The Favourites, and she was also in what's it called? The film with Michael Keaton. And is it Inarritu? I can't remember. It's the film with Inarritu where it's about this superhero and everything. Was it Hawkman or something like that? So yeah, you have to roll with her. And Naomi Harris has been pretty strong. Pretty strong. Viola Davis, yes, Viola. For me, I'd have to say. So if maybe Viola Davis and maybe Gosling. I'm just look at the work that they've done. Probably Gosling and Viola Davis, perhaps. But I think Daniel Kaluuya is going to have a really strong next decade, for sure. Let's see. Wait. Irishman, you can't wait, bro. You can't put Avengers Endgame out. No. So say, who is the face of Hollywood, or who should be the face of Hollywood? Okay, so who is the face of Hollywood? I think the face of Hollywood right now, that's a good one, man. Because it's not Tom Cruise, it's not Will Smith. It might be DiCaprio. It might, with regards to a guy who can pretty much greenlight any film and pretty much brings in a huge buzz, it might be DiCaprio. Now, who should be the face of Hollywood? Should be? I think it should be Daniel Kaluuya. I'll say right now, I think Daniel Kaluuya should be the face of Hollywood. I think Daniel Kaluuya, for me, is the most exciting up and coming actor right now. And I am very excited with regards to the kind of work that he's going to do. And I just think that the kind of performances and acting that this guy's bringing in has me very, 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 very excited, man. So Die Hard 3 greatest hot opening of all time? Bro, it might be. And maybe that's another argument. What's the best opening to a movie ever? But Die Hard 3, as far as a hot opening, yeah. Because, yeah, I think, how does it even start, though? I've actually, because I've not seen it in a while. How does it start? Because I know that it just starts and it just gets right in. I mean, does it start with them finding a device? Do they start with because I know that he obviously gets called in. No, but Bruce Willis was good back in his day, man. Bruce Willis was good back in his day, man. But yeah, that's another thing. Greatest opening to a movie of all time. Matrix was a damn good opening, man. I won't lie. The Matrix was a damn good opening. Drive is a very good opening. The opening for Drive is very good. So when Drive, Matrix, Fellowship is a damn good opening. So other strong openings, man. Yeah, I think those are. Blade Runner. Yeah, I think for me, Blade Runner is the best opening to a film. Yeah, 100%. Like, there's no film that better sets the scene and sets the stage than Blade Runner. Because once you just see that whole thing of the writing on black background, then it just goes into the music of Vangelis, and then you just see the wide shot of the city, and it's not CGI. It's all done with like flipping models and everything. You're like, whoa, okay, like this is real right now. So yeah, huge. Oliver is that he's an Arsenal. Oh, is he an Arsenal fan? Oh wow. Pattinson might be that dude. Robert Pattinson might be that dude as well. Somebody even mentioned this. Jake Gyllenhaal. See, Jake Gyllenhaal for me is slept on. Gyllenhaal for me is slept on because I remember I think the first film I saw of his was Donnie Darko. I love Donnie Darko. And when you see Donnie Darko, you're like, is he really going to go on and become something and everything? But when you look at just the stuff that he's done, I mean, you want to talk about Jarhead. You want to talk about obviously I always forget the name. Nightcrawler. You want to look at Prisoners. Well, you don't really want to look at Prince of Persia, no. Even you want to look at Source Code. And I think the guy is really building up a very strong repertoire. See, that's why I would have said that he would have been a really good Batman. He'd have been a really good Batman. Like if they're chosen for Batman, I think that would have been really, really good. And I think he would have brought something very, especially if you're doing a serious dark Batman, he would have brought something very interesting to the role. Brought something really interesting to the role. So I think they missed something there not putting Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman. But it's funny, I remember, I think they were interviewing Gary Oldman and they asked Gary Oldman, so who would you advise or who would you suggest that they choose to be Batman? And he said Joaquin Phoenix. See, now, that's the Batman film. See, you know what my dream Batman film is? Darren Aronofsky directing and writing, Joaquin Phoenix as Batman. That film would be black. That film would be jet black. That Batman film would be, and it would be flipping amazing. That Batman film would be flipping insane amazing, man. Wow. That Batman film would flipping amazing, man. Let me just do like a few more questions here, man. The Expendables or Escape Plan? To be honest, I could go on a massive rant about Expendables. For me, Expendables was a massively huge missed opportunity, and that just shows you why that piece of crap Stallone just really messed up. So Expendables could have been amazing, but you know what? Escape Plan is better than Expendables. Obviously, Expendables is much more exciting. Expendables had a better potential, but Escape Plan was better executed than Expendables because Escape Plan wasn't directed by Stallone. Okay, because Escape Plan is just better directed and the storytelling is just done a lot better. So for me, for me. Escape Plan over Expendables for sure. That's cool. Eddie Murphy's best performance. You see, that's I have to answer that in two ways. There's best acting and best comedic performance. But maybe, I mean, has he really had an amazing acting performance? I don't really think so. People say, oh, he was amazing in Dreamgirls and everything. I'm like, no, really, man. But his best performance, Eddie Murphy's best performance, man. That's a good one. It's got to be between. Also, we have to even talk about Jim Carrey. Well, if we want to talk about comedians, Jim Carrey, but we'll get to Jim Carrey. For me, it's between Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, what he did in Coming to America was flipping amazing. Because see, Coming to America is hard because he acted so many different roles. But when I just say a singular performance, I mean, like Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, Eddie Murphy was flipping hilarious in that thing. Like Beverly Hills Cop 1, like 3 was I don't know, you know, George Lucas had a cameo in part 3. Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2 is flipping hilarious. Flipping hilarious. A little tidbit for you. You know, Beverly Hills Cop was supposed to be a serious film starring Stallone. Supposed to be a serious film starring Stallone, but obviously it didn't fall through. So they brought in Eddie Murphy and he just changed the whole vibe of it. But it was supposed to be a serious film. Another little side note, for people who have watched Breaking Bad, you know Mike from Breaking Bad, he's in Beverly Hills Cop. I think he's in part 1, I think. Yeah, I think he's in part 1. But Golden Child, man. I think, for me, that's my favorite Eddie Murphy film. Golden Child is my favorite Eddie Murphy film. You know, 100%. 100%, man. Let's see, what else are you guys saying, man? Are the Star Wars prequels better than the sequels? They're both crap. Let's keep it real. Both are garbage, man. Like both are really flipping garbage. But you're putting me on the spot, man. Bro, I mean, look, man, you're putting me on the spot, man. But the prequels are crap. The prequels are crap, and I had the unfortunate thing of having to watch 2 of them in the cinema. But as bad as those prequels are, and those prequels are crap, as bad as those prequels are, man, I've got to keep it real with you, man. I'm taking the prequels over the sequels. But you see, it's weird though. I would say that The Force Awakens, and as a film, they are probably better than the sequels, than the prequels as a film, because George Lucas was just having a laugh, man. You know, he was just having a laugh. So, but the thing about it is that as badly made as those prequels are, man, they are still far more exciting and far more endearing and far more original than the sequels. Force Awakens is a ripoff of A New Hope. It's a ripoff. It's a ripoff of A New Hope, and it's starring a flipping clown called Rey and a flipping loser called Finn. Last Jedi makes no sense. Last Jedi as a film makes no bloody sense. It makes no sense. So for me, I'm saying prequels over the sequels, because as bad as the prequels are, Phantom Menace still has Darth Maul, one of the best characters I've ever seen, in one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. And Attack of the Clones still has the scene with, I believe, is it Jango Fett, the bounty hunter, which is flipping amazing. I saw it again. That scene with Obi-Wan against the bounty hunter, that's bloody amazing. So it's just Lucas all he wants. What Lucas did for the Darth Maul fight and for the bounty hunter fight is flipping amazing. Dude should never be allowed to write a script or never allowed to direct a film. But my God, he understands certain things that clown Abrams and that clown Ryan Johnson do not understand, man. So that's where I would roll them, man. Woo! Cameron Diaz and the mask was, because even me and my friend, even because like my friend is obsessed with Cameron Diaz in The Mask, but Cameron Diaz in The Mask. Because it's so weird because she looked a certain way in The Mask, and then afterwards, I don't know, she just sort of changed. But Cameron Diaz in The Mask, wow, wow, wow. Oh my Lord in heaven, man. Let's see, man. Walter White over Tony Soprano. Nah, I can't. Nah, nah, nah. I mean, I've always said this. What Bryan Cranston did in Sopranos was flipping amazing. Absolutely flipping amazing. Quality. And it's so amazing. And I think this always happens because comedy actors always really do well in serious roles. I mean, look at Jim Carrey and all of the comedic roles he did, and look at how Jim Carrey did in Man on the Moon. Look at flipping Robin Williams and what he did in Good Will Hunting and 1 Hour Photo. Guys, that's another film you need to watch. 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. That's a horror movie. That's a flipping horror movie. But best performance by an actor in a TV series is James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano. Too good. Like what he did for that role, amazing. Absolutely flipping amazing. He was too good. So for me, James Gandolfini was no. He was tier 1 in that thing, man. Tier 1. Let me see. Hank. Oh, what's it? Say Hank from Breaking Bad was in T2. Oh, who was it in T2? Favorite comedy series. Yo, what you? Oh, that's a tricky one because I even want to know. I want to ask you guys best cartoon of all time. I want to do a video on that's best cartoon of all time. But your favorite comedy series, bro? See, I've got to say, what do I keep on going back to? And there is no comedy series that I have rewatched more times than the UK Office. No offense to fans of the American Office. I tried to watch the US version of The Office, couldn't make it past season 3. And for me, I think they didn't really understand what it was about. The UK version of The Office is amazing. Ricky Gervais's performance as David Brent is the best performance by an actor in a comedy series, 100%. You can't name me a better performance than Ricky Gervais as David Brent. It was an amazing performance. So for me, The Office, the UK, The Office, oh, bloody hell, man. You know, trust and reward, loyalty, satisfaction. I don't slap your birthday everything in you. Oh, kids cry. No. No, Brent, no. Too good, man. Too good. Oh, get out. Go on. Got mouths to feed. No, there's so many quotables for what Brent did, as I know. The Office UK, quality, man. Yeah, so yeah, 100% my top one of all time, man. No. UK Office. You see, I tried watching SpongeBob. I've never really been. I've never understood SpongeBob. You know, I've never understood SpongeBob because for me, like with regards to cartoons, man, I mean, I still say Tom and Jerry is number one. Like Tom and Jerry is number one. The first 6 seasons of Simpsons, like after season 7, Simpsons sort of like the decline. The first 6 seasons of our Simpsons was, but Tom and Jerry is number one. And I think for me, that's the best kind of cartoon comedy is Tom and Jerry. You can't beat Tom and Jerry, man. Yeah, I can remember like my friend is a huge fan of SpongeBob. So whenever I went to my friend's house, he would always be watching SpongeBob, and I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get in, and into it right now, man. So yeah, SpongeBob was always something that I had a tough thing doing, man. So Tom Cruise should have stopped doing acting. Should have stopped doing acting in the films 7 years ago, bro. Tom Cruise is still money. Tom Cruise is still money, man. Nah. Don't insult your boy Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is still that flipping dude, man. The Mask CD or the Mask CD or the Mask DVD, man. Now this is a nice one. See, I haven't seen Prison Break. Well, I've only seen like a few episodes of Prison Break, but a few episodes is all I needed. The best depiction and the most realistic depiction of prison in anything is Oz. Oz is a nightmare. Oz is a flipping, living nightmare. Because when you watch Oz, you'll become a saint. Like when you watch Oz, you will become a full-on saint. You'll be like, sorry, you'll become a saint. Oz is a horror movie, scary. It's obviously told in a kind of very kind of creative, kind of poetic way and everything. Because it's sort of led by the kind of like the voiceover and the kind of narration of, I think it's Harold Perrineau Jr. So yeah, but bro, it's no, Oz all the way, Oz all the flipping way, man. So just want to say, you see, as I say, for me, I think, look, and I think even going back to The Office, see, American comedy and English comedy is very different. You see, I actually prefer more of American comedy than I do the UK comedy. But once the UK comedy gets it right, they do it very well. You see, Americans don't know how to do sarcasm. And they don't know how to do like the mockumentary. You see, for me, some of the best comedies you'll see based on mockumentary is, there's this another UK one called Operation Good Guys. The first season, Operation Good Guys, quality. See, Operation Good Guys and The Office, amazing. America don't know how to do that kind of comedy, because that kind of comedy only works through English humor. Because English humor, being very dry and being much more about sarcasm, works really well for those. See, American comedy works best with regards to when you look at Ghostbusters. So, yeah, I want to. So maybe that's a good thing to round off Ghostbusters. So it works better when it's much more in your face. So when you look at like a Simpsons, when you look at like a Family Guy, when you look at a South Park, where it's just boom, it's just right over the edge and just hitting you. That's where it works best. That's why when you saw America try to sort of now do that, there shouldn't be an American version of The Office. The Office is amazing as it is. So it should make it, oh no, let's just make it in a way that it's much more suitable for the Americans and it will work. No, that's just being stupid, man. So, and that's why, in my opinion, it doesn't really work. I want to now do this, man. Ghostbusters. How many of you guys, hopefully, I don't know how many of you guys saw the trailer for the new Ghostbusters. I don't know what this guy is smoking. And Jason Reitman, he's the son of Ivan Reitman, who directed the 2 Ghostbusters films. And when you look at the Ghostbusters on the when you look at this new Ghostbusters, man, it's like the trailer doesn't make sense. I'll keep it real with you guys. I enjoyed Stranger Things season 1. I enjoyed it. Stranger Things season 1 was pretty cool. I stopped watching Stranger Things after the few episodes of season 2. I stopped because for me, it's just not my. I as much as I tried to, I was like, you know what, this is not popping off for me personally. Especially for me, it's only popping off for me, and I just sort of lost interest with the whole, oh my gosh, we're like kids and everything. And the issue I have with this new Ghostbusters is it feels very much like Stranger Things. So we're gonna have a bunch of kids with kid humor, kid problems, being Ghostbusters, and I just find that stupid. Personally, for me, I just find that completely and utterly stupid. So the beauty and what's made Ghostbusters so good is it was the quality of the comedy, and it was adult comedy. Ghostbusters isn't Goonies. Goonies is its own thing, and Stranger Things is just a version of Goonies. I mean, Stranger Things is a poor man's Goonies. Goonies is amazing. Goonies is flipping amazing, but that's different. So the issue they now have with this new Ghostbusters is that you are not really honing in on the essence of what made Ghostbusters so good. Ghostbusters, the first 2 Ghostbusters films are good because obviously thanks to Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, the writing, the comedy writing is so good, and I think the screenplay is the strength of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters isn't good because of the special effects or the action on everything. It's good because it's flipping hilarious. It's super funny, and it is a really well-written script. So if you're not going to replace that with a bunch of kids doing kiddie stuff, and you're trying to tell me that these kids are going to be as funny as Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray, you're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. So I just think, in my opinion, that was a hugely missed opportunity, man, of the whole thing, man. Look, I said, look, Stranger Things, man, like, man, I was out. So people are not talking about this whole thing, man. So Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger. And I can't say this in my review, but I'll say it again. I mean, let me even go even deeper. I'll go even deeper right now. Heath Ledger was amazing as the Joker. That's definitely an iconic performance. But, and this is the but. First off, Joaquin Phoenix never played the Joker. He never actually played the Joker. Joaquin Phoenix played a dude called Arthur Fleck, who then asked the TV host that, no, I want you to call me Joker because that's what you called me, in a mocking kind of way. So the brilliance of the film of the Joker is that I said, I have no time watching a film about the Joker. No, because the character isn't that deep. So you know what? We're going to not try and flip it. We're not going to try and flip it. I just try and make this much more about Arthur Fleck and make this a more realistic take rather than just a straight comic book adaptation of the Joker character. The thing here is this. I said Heath Ledger was amazing as the Joker, but for me, the character wasn't interesting. The character of Joker wasn't interesting because, so let me get it straight. You're crazy, you're mad, you're a psychopath, you're introspective, you can be serious, you can be philosophical, you're intelligent. So it was almost like he was given a free rein to be everything. And it was great and everything, but I'm like, that isn't a character. That's just like God. You're basically like God. You're basically everything and anything at once. With Joaquin Phoenix and what he did, he wasn't Joker. He was Arthur Fleck. And what he did is he had to play a particular character. I want to have a particular character. There are boundaries because this is what this character would do and this is what he wouldn't do. He can't be anything because he is this. So once you now have that, and when you're now working within boundaries, I have to give you much more credit because of your focus on maintaining a particular character trait throughout the entire film. And what Joaquin Phoenix did, forget about what he did as Joker, what he did as Arthur Fleck in that film, I thought was outstanding. It was based on just acting quality. It was outstanding what he did. For me, one of the best films in Joker isn't the ending where he makes a speech. It's basically that scene when he's in the comedy club and you just see him like laughing in an offbeat way to the guy's jokes. Just what his face looks like and how he does, I'm like, bro, this is in a different thing. And you know what I've always said? You see, with Heath Ledger and in the Joker, him wearing that mask helped to amplify the performance. Taking nothing away because you still have to act, so it helped to amplify the performance. But see, the issue, and I say if he didn't have that mask and he just saw Heath Ledger's face, would it have had the same kind of impact? And another thing as well is like, and this is just my issue with like the Dark Knight's film and the Joker character. Everybody was just reacting to the Joker. And I just think like in the scenes, the Joker never really had scenes with anyone else. So he never really had a back and forth. Babon just stood there and just like, oh yeah. And that, so it was just all Joker. And there was nothing really, so you never really had a back and forth. But in Joaquin Phoenix, there was a back and forth between him and the Murray character, Murray. I think there was a back and forth between him and Thomas Wayne. There was a back and forth between him and his mother. So you could really, so the scenes felt a lot stronger. So, and I think a lot to do with acting is you reacting to what the other guy is doing. But I just think the bottom line, what people are saying is you can't compare them. See, compare Heath to Jack Nicholson to thinking, but that is different. And I've always said this. I still feel the best Joker for me is Jack Nicholson. Because that dude was, see, now that's scary. You see, Heath Ledger's Joker is like a sociopath. But so you can maybe, Jack Nicholson's joke, like, you're dealing with an actual clown. Like, you're dealing with, and he's really an actual clown. So you're like, no, this is horrific. You're dealing with an actual creature. So that's the thing, man. Hey, Seagal, man. You know what I've always said? I always put Seagal over Van Damme. I know that people like to hate on Seagal. Also, best Seagal film is On the Siege, easily On the Siege. The funniest Seagal film is Kill Switch. In Kill Switch, maybe I'm wrong here. In Kill Switch, I think Seagal is trying to play an African American. Because when you just listen to his dialogue, it's I think an African American, but I think is it Above the Law, another one. Seagal, man, some of the fight scenes that Seagal has in some of his films are flipping amazing, man. They're flipping amazing, you know. You see, I will always give Van Damme this. Van Damme looks beautiful whenever he does his kicks. His kicks are a thing of beauty. So his posture and everything, whenever he kicks, is flipping amazing. And I think because he said he used to do ballet. But for me, I just think Seagal just has that extra edge. Van Damme can be very cheesy. Van Damme can be very, very cheesy indeed. So I just think Homeboy has a better edge, man. All right, maybe we can end with this. Richard, what do you think are the best movies of the decade? Okay, so 2010 to 2020. Edge of Tomorrow. I'm going to roll with Joker. Roll with Irishman. 2011, 2012. I'm just trying to look at 2016, 2017. I mean, there have not been those many amazing films, you know. Like for me, I don't know. I just think because I do remember kind of the nominees from before and everything, but I just think, okay, wait, you know what? Let me do this actually. Nightcrawler as well. Let me do this with Oscar, IMDb. 1921. Oh, okay, no. As I said, no, Oscar awards, man. I'm trying to look at the list of awards. So wait, what else came out this year? But I mean, so for me, maybe we're coming crazy. I'm going to say Edge of Tomorrow was the best film of this decade. I think Edge of Tomorrow is a great film. Edge of Tomorrow was an absolutely great film. So I want to say Edge of Tomorrow. And I bought the manga. And I want to read the manga because it's obviously based on the manga, which I have. So Edge of Tomorrow. You have to roll. I mean, Parasite was damn good. Parasites. I'm gonna put in Joker in there. You see, I wasn't the biggest fan of Inception. I know people will say, "What?" I wasn't the biggest fan of Inception. I wasn't big. Nightcrawler for sure. Nightcrawler for sure. Bro, Apocalypto was in 2006. Yeah, I told you. Apocalypto wasn't this decade. Apocalypto came out in 2006. Apocalypto came out in 2006, man. So yeah, so I think, but I mean, if I had to choose, man, I'm going to just say 100%. I'm going to say Edge of Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow for sure. Edge of Tomorrow I just thought was full on quality, man. So guys, man, that is all it from your boy HH. Thank you for viewing it. I'll see you again. So obviously I always try and do this every Wednesday and everything. And remember, if you're new or you haven't sub now. My plan is to get to 1,000 subs. That is my milestone, to get to 1,000 subs, man. So once I get to 1,000 subs and more, I'll start putting mods and everything in there. So if you are new, hit the subscribe button. It's free, costing nothing. And also like the video as well. So like the vid. After you like the vid, hit the subscribe button. Like, sub. Simple as that, man. And yeah, so next Wednesday, I'm gonna come up with some interesting topics. I think next Wednesday I want to talk about maybe best cartoon series of all time. Maybe go into a bit more detail with anime and talk about maybe the best movie villains, best film villains. So maybe thinking about a few topics to run through. But that is all me here for the hour. Cool. I will see you guys next Wednesday. Remember to like the vid and also remember to subscribe if you're new. Peace.